Okay, so we're back for another deep dive. And this time we're going way back to the early days of a show that I know a lot of you out there still hold dear, the X-Files.
Ah, the classic.
Yeah, you guys wanted to hear all about the Jersey Devil. That's the 5th episode from the very first season, premiered way back on October 8th, 1993.
Wow, 1993. That's going back a bit.
It is, and the world was a different place back then. The internet was barely a thing for most people. And the X-Files landed right in the middle of that with its creepy monsters and government conspiracies. And this episode, The Jersey Devil, it's a classic Monster of the Week story. But as we dig into it, you'll see it's so much more than that. It's a story that still resonates today because it taps into some of our deepest fears and fascinations.
Right. You've sent us a ton of great material about the episodes, synopsis, summaries, production details. It's all really fascinating. But what I'm most interested in is what this episode tells us about ourselves. Why does this story of a creature lurking in the woods still grab our attention after all these years?
Right, exactly. So let's get right into it. The episode starts with this really unsettling flashback to 1947. We're in New Jersey, and a family's dragging along at night, just a normal everyday thing. And then bam, flat tire, the father gets out to change it, and something unseen drags him away into the darkness. His family's left in the car, just screaming.
Oh, that's awful.
It's terrifying, right? And then the next morning, they find his body in the woods. And this is where it gets really gruesome. His leg is gone, described as being eaten off. I mean, just the thought of it.
It's the stuff of nightmares, for sure.
Absolutely. And the episode then cuts to the present day, 1993. We're introduced to Scully. She's briefing Mulder on a new case, the murder of a homeless man in Atlantic City, a guy named Roger Crockett. And guess what? The details are eerily similar to that incident from 1947. His body is also partially devoured.
Okay, so right off the bat, they're setting up this parallel between past and present.
Exactly. And Mulder being Mulder, he instantly jumps to the Jersey Devil. He sees the connection to local folklore right away. The legend of this creature roaming the woods.
Of course he does. That's our Mulder.
Yep, always thinking outside the box. But then you have Scully, the voice of reason. She's instantly skeptical, like, hold on a second. Let's not jump to conclusions here. There has to be a rational explanation.
That's the classic X-Files dynamic right there. Belief versus skepticism, two sides of the same coin.
Totally. So Mulder and Scully, they head to Atlantic City to examine Roger Crockett's body. They go to the morgue and they meet Detective Thomas Thompson, the local cop in charge of the case. And let me tell you, he is not thrilled to see them.
I can imagine those local cops. They don't always appreciate the FBI coming in and stirring things up.
Right. He's like, hey, we got this under control. We don't need you FBI folks poking around with your crazy theories.
So he's not buying into the whole Jersey Devil thing then?
Not one bit. But Mulder, he's completely fixated on this creature. He's convinced it's the key to the case. But in the middle of all this, Scully gets a reminder of the world outside of monsters and conspiracies.
Oh, right. She mentioned her godson's birthday party. Something normal, something human.
Yeah, exactly. She has this moment where she's like, wait a minute, there are things beyond this darkness. And Mulder, to his credit, he seems to understand. He even gives her the car keys, basically saying, you know what? Go take a break from this madness. Go be normal for a while.
It's almost like he's acknowledging that there's a cost to pursuing the truth, like they do.
Yeah, for sure. So while Scully is off trying to have a normal life, Mulder dives headfirst into the Jersey Devil myth. He goes to talk to Park Ranger Peter Brule, and this guy is a gold mine of local lore. He's heard all the stories, all the whispers about the creature in the woods.
It's like those park rangers, they're so connected to the land and the stories that come from it.
Totally. And Ranger Brule, he tells Mulder all these tales about the Jersey Devil sightings, encounters stories passed down through generations. It just fuels Mulder's conviction and more.
He's probably taking notes like crazy. This is all going in my report.
Right. And then Mulder, he goes even deeper. He ventures into the homeless community in Atlantic City. He wants to find anyone who might have known Roger Crockett, the victim. And he ends up meeting this one homeless man who shows him something incredible.
What was it? Some kind of evidence?
You could say that. It's a sketch, a drawing of a bizarre creature. And guess where they found it? Tucked away in Crockett's jacket pocket.
Wow, so the victim himself might have seen this creature. That's pretty compelling evidence, even if it's just a drawing.
Yeah, it really is. And Mulder, he's so desperate for information, he even gives this homeless man his motel keys, just so he can have a safe place to sleep for the night. I mean, that's dedication.
That's Mulder for you, always willing to go the extra mile for the truth.
And then later that night, Mulder actually sees it. He sees the creature scavenging near some dumpsters.
Hold on, he actually saw it with his own eyes.
He did. According to the descriptions, it was this ape-like creature hunched over, moving quickly in the shadows. I mean, it's like something straight out of a nightmare.
So it's not just a legend anymore, it's real. It's out there.
Right? Mulder, he gives chase. He chases this thing through the streets of Atlantic City. They end up on top of a building. And just as he's about to get a clear look, the police show up.
Oh no, I bet that was frustrating.
Totally. And to make matters worse, they arrest Mulder. They think he's causing trouble.
Oh, man. Talk about a setback.
It's a classic X-Files moment, right? The truth is out there. But the authorities, they just don't want to see it. And while he's in jail, Mulder, he has this tense confrontation with Detective Thompson. And you know what it turns out? Thompson, he knows about the creature. He knows it's real, but he's deliberately downplaying it. He's afraid that if word gets out, it'll hurt Atlantic City's tourism industry.
So it's a cover-up. They're sacrificing the truth to protect their image.
Exactly. It's a really cynical take, but also kind of believable, right? I mean, think about it. What would happen if people really knew that a monster was roaming the streets?
It would cause chaos, panic, mass hysteria.
Exactly. So Mulder's stuck in jail. He manages to call Scully.
Scully to the rescue once again.
She bails him out. And she's got that classic Scully wit. You know, she asks him, did you manage to panhandle some change while you were in there?
Oh, I can hear her saying it's a perfect Scully moment.
Totally. And even though she doesn't fully believe him, she's still there for him. She's still his partner.
Their partnership is one of the best things about the X-Files. They balance each other out.
For sure. So they decide to consult with an anthropologist. Dr. Diamond Mulder tells him about his encounter with the creature. And Dr. Diamond, he comes up with this theory. He says it could be a missing link, a transitional species between apes and humans.
The missing link, huh? That's a pretty big claim.
It is. And even back then in the early 90s, that theory was already being challenged. But, you know, the X-Files, it always loved to play with those fringe ideas, those possibilities that science couldn't quite explain yet.
And the idea of a missing link running around eating people, that's pretty terrifying.
Oh, yeah. And Dr. Diamond, he adds to that fear. He says that if this creature is real, it would probably prey on beings similar to itself, meaning
near the top of the food chain, near humans.
Exactly. It's a chilling thought. So they're trying to wrap their heads around this whole missing link theory when they get a call from Ranger Brule. Remember him? The guy with all the Jersey Devil stories?
Oh, yeah. He was like a walking encyclopedia of local lore.
Well, he's found something. He's found a body in the woods, a male body that he thinks could be another Jersey Devil, and it's been dead for a while. Maybe months?
So now there are two of them, a male and a female.
That's what Mulder starts to think. He theorizes that the creature he saw was the female and that this new body is her mate. And that raises the stakes even more. Because if they're a pair, that means
they could be breeding. They could have offspring.
Exactly. It's not just one monster anymore. It's a whole potential lineage. And things get even weirder when they go to the coroner's office to examine the body.
What happened? Did they find something strange?
They found nothing. The body, it's gone vanished without a trace. Scully, Mulder, Dr. Diamond, Ranger Brule. They're all standing there, and there's no record of the body ever being brought in.
Okay, that is seriously creepy. It's like it just disappeared into thin air.
It's a classic X-Files mystery. You know, is it a cover-up? Did someone take the body to hide the truth? Or is there something more supernatural going on? We're left to wonder.
It definitely adds to the whole conspiracy vibe that the show is known for.
Totally. So at this point, the investigation intensifies. They get lead that the creature might be hiding out in this abandoned warehouse district near where those homeless abductions happened. Detective Thompson shows up with a whole SWAT team. They're taking this seriously now.
So even if they don't want to admit it publicly, they're starting to believe that there's a real threat out there.
Yeah, they're realizing that this is more than just a missing persons case. They search the warehouses, and they find evidence that the creature was there, but it's gone again. It's always one step ahead.
It's like a cat and mouse game, but with a monster.
Exactly. And Mulder, he's determined to catch it. He splits off from the group. He follows his instincts, and he ends up in the smaller warehouse. And that's where he comes face to face with the creature again.
Oh no, this can't be good.
It isn't. It attacks him, knocks him to the ground. But then something really interesting happens. It hesitates. It doesn't kill him. It just backs away. And that's when Scully arrives, and the creature escapes.
Wow, that hesitation, that's really significant. It's not just a mindless killing machine. There's something else going on.
Right. It makes you wonder what it was thinking. Was it afraid? Did it recognize Scully? Or was there some other reason why it didn't finish Mulder off?
It definitely adds a layer of complexity to the creature, doesn't it?
For sure. And in that moment, they realize something else. They realize that the creature they've been chasing, it's the female. And she's probably desperate to find food for her offspring.
So it's all about survival, protecting her young.
Exactly. It's a mother fighting for her family, which makes what happens next even more tragic. They track the injured female to her den, and in a tense standoff with the police, he's killed.
Oh, wow. That's heartbreaking. Even though she was a dangerous creature, you can't help but feel for her.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where you realize that sometimes the monsters are just trying to survive. They're not evil. They're just doing what they have to do. And after she's killed, they do an autopsy. And the results are surprising.
What did they find?
Well, first of all, no prehistoric bone structure, so the whole missing link theory is out the window.
So it's not some ancient throwback, it's something else entirely.
Exactly, but they do find something else, human bones in her digestive tract, which confirms that she was responsible for those deaths. And here's the really chilling part. The autopsies of both the male and female creatures suggest that they had produced offspring.
So there are more out there, somewhere in those woods.
It's a haunting thought. The episode ends with Mulder visiting the Smithsonian. He's clearly shaken by what happened. He realizes that the female Jersey Devil was just trying to protect her family, and he's left to grapple with the consequences of their actions.
It's like he's questioning everything he thought he knew about monsters.
Totally. And then we see Scully. She's been asked out on a second date, but she turns it down. She decides to go to the Smithsonian with Mulder instead, and in that moment, you can see how much these cases have affected her.
Yeah, she's chosen this life, this partnership with Mulder over a normal life.
And then we get this really powerful final scene. A father and son are hiking in the woods, and the father is telling his son the legend of the Jersey Devil, and unbeknownst to them, a young female child of the creature is watching them from the shadows.
Oh, wow, that's creepy. It's like the cycle continues.
Exactly. It's a reminder that the unknown is still out there, lurking just beyond our sight. And that sometimes the stories we tell ourselves about monsters might be closer to the truth than we realize.
It's a brilliant ending. It leaves you with so many questions and a sense of unease that lingers long after the episode is over.
So there you have it, The Jersey Devil, an episode that's so much more than just a monster hunt. It's a story about fear and belief and the choices we make when confronted with the unknown. It's about the clash between folklore and science. And it's about the lengths a parent will go to protect their young.
And it leaves us with a final thought to ponder. If such a creature did exist, what would be our responsibility towards it? Would we try to understand it, or would we simply destroy it out of fear?
It's a question that's more relevant now than ever as we grapple with our impact on the natural world, and with the realization that the monsters we fear might not be so monstrous after all.